Well, hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm very excited to show you what's in the box. Well guys, before we get too much further, I just wanted to say thank you very much for joining me for yet another video. And if you do benefit from this in any way, or if you find this entertaining in any way, please consider giving me a thumbs up and a subscription. That would really help me out. Well, with that out of the way, let's get right to it. Somebody gave me an interesting idea and I decided to go ahead and run with it. So the idea was, let me buy the cheapest RC crawler parts I could find on Amazon. Now I went at it with two basic rules. One, get everything off of Amazon Prime, as the state of the world as it is right now, it's hard to get things. And two, make it as cheap as possible. Now I went at it with kind of the idea that if I could get something better quality for about $5 or $6 more, that I would do that. So it's not the absolute cheapest thing, but pretty close to it. Now in this box represents almost a complete crawler, everything short of a controller and a receiver, which I'll be using an existing controller and receiver for. What's in this box represents $360 worth of product, and the only thing that I was not able to get off of Amazon Prime is the chassis that I'll be using. Now showing you the parts that I'll be using, starting with the chassis itself, this interesting roll cage that I was able to find was about $45. Now this did take forever for me to get. It came right from China and it took quite a long time. So this was the piece I was waiting on the most in order to get this project started. The next thing that I'll be using are these tires from Hobby Park. Now these look to be a copy of the Hyrax tires from Proline, and these came in at about $20. The shocks that I'll be using are these aluminum red shocks. Now these shocks came in at about $23. A set of 4 of these wheels came in at about $40. These links are stainless steel links with plastic rod ends, and these came in at about $17. This center skid plate was about $10. Now this transmission case came in at about $34. Now there was an option on Amazon that came with a motor that would have actually been a little bit cheaper, but that was breaking one of the rules as far as trying to get the cheapest things on Amazon Prime. And I'm glad that I went this way because it took so long to get that chassis from China. This 20 kilogram servo was about $16. This 35 turn motor came in at $14. Now this is one of those items where spending a little bit more money pays off. So this Hobbywing speed controller came in at $22. The absolute cheapest model on Amazon was around $18, so this was an obvious win to spend a little bit more money on. These steel axles that I got came in at about $17. Now these axles represent the single largest expense that I put into this model. This pair of axles came in at $73. I also ordered this screw kit just in case, but after looking at all these parts and pieces, it doesn't look like I'm going to need it. But this came in at about $30. Now the only items that I'm missing from this build will be the transmitter and the receiver, as well as building tools and of course some soldering. Now I'm going to be using my existing transmitter and receiver. I could not find a transmitter and receiver that I trusted for a reasonable price on Amazon, so I just decided to use what I had. Now, as I mentioned earlier before, what you see on the table represents about $360, which makes it a pretty budget-friendly build if you wanted to do parts and pieces. Now, one thing to note is that this is not the most economical way of doing this. There is a build currently on Amazon for around $250, which includes similar equipment minus the electronics. Now the main purpose of this build is to merge a lot of the things that I've shown you thus far on my channel and show you some new techniques on building. Now for the duration of this build, I'm going to be using this Loctite stick. This is very similar to a glue stick, and it's pretty convenient to be able to use without making a huge mess. Well guys, if you're looking forward to more of these videos, make sure you hit that like and subscribe buttons. And as always, I do recommend hitting that bell so that you do get notified when the new content goes up. Well, I appreciate you watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.